Thunder! 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 Oh! What are you looking at, nerd? Huh?
Nerds! Nerds!
Welcome to Thunder Nerds. I'm Brian Hinton.
And I'm Frederick Philip von Weiss, and thank you so much for consuming the Thunder Nerds, a conversation with the people behind the technology that love what they do.
And do tech
Good. Haja! Thank you, everyone, again for joining us. Super appreciate it. We have a great show for you today. Please go and live chat with us. Ask your questions, and we will answer them in the order that they arrive. Hey, Luther, if you're still watching, I love you, buddy. That's my son. He might be watching the show. But anyway, Brian, take us off. Boom.
Yeah, I'd like to thank this season's sponsor, Auth0. Do you know what's hard to set up securely? Unified logins for apps. That's what's hard. But it can be easy with this season's sponsor. What they make it easy for developers to build a custom, secure, and standards-based unified login by providing authentication and authorization as a service. You can try it out yourself. Go to auth0.com. Also, make sure to check out their YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/auth0 for some great developer resources. And their Twitch channel, twitch.tv/auth0. There's some great live streams. And last, Auth0 runs Avocado Labs, an online destination for meetup events organized by their developer advocates. And you can find that at avocadolabs.dev. Thank you, Auth0.
Yeah, really appreciate it, Auth0. Thank you. And with that being said, why don't we go ahead and get to our amazing guest? This is a great show. Let me read all these points exactly. We have Azure Solutions Architect, Cloudinary Media Developer Expert, founding member of JavaScript and Friends, and Auth0 Ambassador, Baskar Rao. Welcome to the show, Baskar.
Hey, thank you for having me, Frederick, and thank you for having me in Thunder Nerds today.
Yeah, we're super excited to have you, Baskar.
Yeah, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah. So, man, why don't we talk about some of the big things that we got going on right now, just in in the world. Like these fires are nuts, and we're talking about the fires on the west coast of the United States. I mean, we got with COVID going on, with everything else, with this president, which is a disaster in my personal opinion, and then we got September 11th going on. Like, what's everybody's feelings about these crazy fires?
So first of all, I would like to say, like, 2020 is going crazy, right? So
yeah.
right from the start, we started New Year with forest fires in Australia, and then boom, Jan, Feb, we came with COVID, and till we are in COVID situation, and now we are having forest fires in California. So to tell short, it's a crazy year, and still somehow we all are surviving through this virtual mode by connecting with people and friends and all virtually.
Yeah, I can't even believe what I honestly forgot about the fire in Australia until you just mentioned it, and it's everything has just been this like stack on stack of just disasters. I mean, and we definitely we're keeping hope for everybody out there on the West Coast. Really, we're thinking about you and hope things work out and hope everybody's safe.
Yeah, I can't imagine like waking up and going outdoors and the sky is just this bright orange red. It must be so frightening.
Yeah. I was just following through the Twitter feeds, which all the friends are sharing online, and it's like there was one tweet from a famous person asking, like, what are you seeing right now outside? Put the photo of it, and it's like continuously like number of orange photos being posted.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like I'm just hoping that all friends are safe over there and everyone is safe there.
Yeah, we're thinking of everybody over there. This is a nightmare scenario, and just in many ways, like we keep saying, that's 2020 is just a stack of just horribleness. But also we do have some change coming too, which is a positive. Which hopefully, fingers crossed, and that works out as well. So, why don't we talk about your personal experience? Another one of the so-called elephants in the room here that we should talk about, if that's even the right expression to employ, is the COVID situation. Obviously, we're in September now, which just sounds crazy bananas. But what is your personal situation? Are you doing all right? You're in Columbus, Ohio, from my understanding. What's it like there? What's it like for your friends and family?
Yeah. So if you remember, we came in Thunder Nerds last time, like Friends and Amigos, which was around March. And that was like the starting period of COVID, if I can say, even though it started in January, but the entire craziness got shooted in March. During March, I was not expecting that I will be in the same situation till now. But for some reason, I don't know, that we are still almost in a similar situation, and everything is going remote now. So remote is the being virtual is the same during March, and it is the same now as well. So not pretty much change from my end, but I'm lucky enough that my clients support me by allowing me to work remote. So that's a thing which I have got, and somehow we are all surviving in this situation as of now.
Yeah, you also do a lot of speaking. I imagine you did a lot of traveling when you were speaking, and obviously that's kind of not a thing at the moment. And then with JavaScript and Friends, which we'll get into a little later on, you probably had people coming in, and now you don't, and everything's all virtual. So that's another layer of 2020. So what's it like for you with being, even with your job, you probably did a lot of with Auth0, you did a lot of traveling. So what's that kind of like for you now? What's the situation? How are you coping with just being home?
Yeah. So with Auth0 Ambassador programs, we were able to go and participate and talk in nearby meetups or meetups in nearby cities. So 2019, it was like between 2018 and 2019, I was like crazy traveling. I used to go to the code camps. I used to go to the regional conferences, and speak over there. But gradually now, it's all like everything is remote. And right now, if you take, I have my initial 6 months of a year dedicated to my organizer slot, and the next 6 months is dedicated to my speaker slot. So during March to August, I keep myself busy with organizing activities for JavaScript and Friends conference, and so that time I usually keep less travel, and it's beyond August that I try to go and speak at nearby meetups or nearby conference. So in effect, I'm not too much of a traveling guy, but but to tell that this is everything right now, everything is virtual. And honestly, I did only one virtual talk between the COVID situation till now, because I was completely busy with organizing and taking care of other activities behind the scenes till now. And now it's time for changing gears and going into the speaking side of world.
What are you doing? I'm always curious what people are doing to kind of deal with the situation. Like, do you have a routine that you follow? And being at home all the time and not ever getting out, really, most of us are that way. Like, what's some tricks that you do?
So when you come to tricks, I'm not too much of a routinely organized person, right? As we all. So right now in this COVID situation, it's all about going as per the flow. So if I feel that, okay, right now the primary thing is be at home, try to work, and whenever you have time, try to do the community related aspects by contributing to developer community. And a routine as such, I try to maintain my own list of to-dos, which I try to meet sometimes, but sometimes I will not meet my to-dos as well. So it's a kind of evolving stage right now. And so tips and tricks, try to write down what you want to do, and most probably try to meet what you have written. So that's what I have found out during this entire COVID situation.
Are you having a hard time stopping working? I find that sometimes I am. Like, it seems like since I'm home, my office is always here, even though I have like a room that's the office. Like, stepping away from it has been hard.
So at least from the time wise for work, I generally try to complete my work day by 6 p.m. EST. So after 6 p.m. EST, it's all like no office work, and I try to come out of that. But I might be in the same room because beyond 6, it's going to be the developer community related activities, me going to social media, checking out the tweets or responding to friends. So
you need to have like blinds that change behind you, like,
to communicate like what the thing is. A lot of people employ the time blocking, like putting blocks of time literally in your Google Calendar, whatever you use, but like, putting some blocks like that. I personally found that very successful, if you ask me, to be able to manage my time, because just like you said, Brian, I have a hard time turning off. Like when I'm doing stuff, it's like I don't turn off at 5:30, and a lot of times I have my work demands me to just jump on whenever. I just 9 o'clock at night, if I got something that comes in, I need to take care of it. But also a lot of times I have a hard time letting go, because I'm like, oh, just 5 more minutes, I need to get this one thing done, and then I just how that ends up. It's difficult, but from what I'm getting from you, Baskar, it sounds more like one of the things I heard from Jason Ogle a while ago was like sometimes you got to be okay with just the way things are, and if your schedule organically brings you one way, you go that way, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. You just gotta roll with it.
Right.
For lack of a better term, I guess.
Right.
One of the things I wanted to ask you about is something that our last guest, Sam Julien, brought up, and it's a really interesting tweet, and I want to ask you about this in maybe 2 or 3 ways. But let me read the tweet. I'll try verbatim. See, I couldn't get that right. So he says, "You are a true unsung hero. He is always looking out for opportunities for others, runs several different meetups, and is just always really supportive. I'm looking forward to watching this to get to know him better." So that's Sam Julien. We'll link to that tweet, but why don't we first ask the question, and then I got a follow up. How do people get to know you better? What are some of the things you would like to tell people to help them get to know you more?
Yeah. So in a way, like Sam is really very kind, and we obviously like chat with each other whenever we are through the Auth0 Ambassador program, right? So, and in a way, like we keep constantly interacting with each other, and whenever it is possible, I try to, if I see someone who is saying that I'm out of some work and I'm looking for a new work, so I try to use my contacts in making sure that some way or other they get help through the contacts as well. So that's one of the reason maybe Sam might have told he is always looking out for opportunities for others. So that's one thing. Whenever I see a tweet or something, and especially during this time, right, during this COVID situation. If someone is out of work or someone is looking for a new work, it won't hinder us in sharing up about their work, that someone is out there looking out, and if you are having something open, feel free to reach out to them. So the more we provide that sort of signal boost during this time, that is going to help people in a vast way. So that is one thing which I try to do whenever I am on social media platforms. And I try to experiment many things through JavaScript and Friends. Some things will work out, some things will not work out, and it's all about learning from your failures. So that way, I keep constantly interacting with new people and get to know about them. So that's how I keep reaching out to all people or all speakers. So if you see like someone would be tweeting that, okay, I'm looking out for an opportunity to speak, or I'm looking for speakers to my meetup, or I'm looking for speakers to my conference. So anything which comes in our way, I try to share it to my contacts, even though I might not be having a vast set of followers on social media or something. It's such a way that when I share something, and if someone who is also following me, and if they have a vast network, they are obviously going to see it and signal boost it. So that's the thing I try to follow whenever I'm on social media platforms.
I love that. I just want to read some comments, and then I want to get back to what you just said there, because I think you said something here that I want to touch on. But it just going back to Patrick, yeah, it does look like Mars. It looks crazy out there.
Yeah.
Todd wrote, there's a time to turn off ? So
Todd, yes, there is, Todd.
Is there a time to turn off? Like, do you think, Baskar, is there a time like that we could say?
He said 6 p.m.
Well, I know he said 6 p.m., but that's his thing. And then he doesn't turn off, though. Baskar said that's when he's like jumping on social media, and then it's JavaScript and Friends time. But is there like a time to like close the computer, maybe put down the phone? Like, is there literally a time of night? Maybe let me rephrase that for you personally. Yeah. When do you let go? Meaning like you don't check your email after like what?
Yeah, there are times when, so after 6 p.m. it's not that every day after 6 p.m. I will be constantly doing JavaScript and Friends, because if I keep doing that, I know out of this door my wife who is waiting for me, they might be like get crazy, like I'm here because it's a COVID situation and right now we both are here. So we have to obviously plan our time in such a way that I'm available over there as well. So after 6 p.m. I generally try to take a 2 to 3 hour break, and it's around 9 to 10. I might log in some days, or the other days if there is something more important which I have to address. Maybe like tomorrow I have a speaker going to speak. So that's how the previous day I try to make myself available to schedule stuff and make things ready for the meetup. So yeah, there is definitely time to turn off. So you might see me sometimes using my phone in the night, because some of my California friends, they try to tweet around our 12 o'clock, which is their 9 p.m. Right. So usually I try to be during that time. So that way I could say that 12 is my complete end time, but it's not that I'm completely on till 12. It's like on and off.
So, speaking of California and our friends over there, let's talk a little bit about JavaScript and Friends. What was the kind of origin of that? What?
Yeah, so the origin.
I heard it.
So the origin is like So when initially I started with a meetup group called Vue.js Columbus. So when I started the meetup group, I had an idea that I should start a conference over here in Columbus, Ohio location. So everything got started with Vue.js meetup, and by the time around January in 2019, I decided that okay, in October 2018, I started Vue.js meetup, and by the time around January, I met and asked a few friends if they would be interested in coming and joining together. So that's how we got this awesome group of people: Calvin Allen, uh, Brandon Rockwell, George Walters, Barrett, and Greg Malcolm. So they are all the awesome friends who are behind the scenes, who joined together with me, and we all started this organization called JavaScript and Friends. And it was our personal motto that if we are going to raise some funds, it has to go somewhere. So that's the primary reason we thought, okay, if we are getting enough sponsors, we will try to donate that to as a bootcamp scholarships. So right now we are still not there. Whatever we raised for our first year, and you know about the venues and all those stuff, somehow we managed to be green in budget perspective for first year. And this year being virtual, we luckily had a few sponsors who supported us, and everything went virtual this year, and we are hoping that we'll be back in 2021. So to say, Vue.js Columbus is the starting point for all these conference, meetups, and everything. Yeah.
I love that. Go ahead, Brian.
I was just wondering, how did it morph from Vue.js to like just JavaScript on a whole? Was it just like you were so interested in everything, you wanted to interconnect with everyone in the community, that just didn't seem like to narrow it to that scope?
Yeah. So in Columbus, Ohio location, we have various conferences. So we have StirTrek, which is a developer conference over here, and we have Dogfood Conference, and we have various meetups under Tech Life Columbus group. So, and Guy Royce usually manages Columbus JavaScript meetups, and that's how I interacted with him. At some point, I asked him like, will Guy Royce would be interested if we team together to create a conference? And Guy Royce was really interested with my concept, and that's how, like, if you know that the name JavaScript and Friends was actually given by Guy Royce. So that's how we named the nonprofit when we were brainstorming among us, like what name we should keep. It's a guy who came with the name, and that's how we told, like, okay, we will keep it as. I told, like, I want to keep a conference which is themed around JavaScript, and then we evolved it like JavaScript and Friends, and we thought like we'll bring everything which is associated with JavaScript through this conference. So we don't want to be like just a front-end conference or just a back-end conference. Everywhere JavaScript is used, we wanted to bring all the stacks into picture, and that's how JavaScript and Friends was formed.
It's a really super cool name, and I love the way that it literally explains it. I think it's self-explanatory, and it also kind of has like a feel of like an old 80s cartoon with JavaScript and Friends.
I was gonna say that the Super Friends cartoon, and I was just like Jason Ogle's cartoon artist needs to like illustrate all of you and like make it like superhero themed on the site.
Exactly. Right. You know, I want to ask you about the conference this year. So let me look at the dates. It was in August of the 13th. You have the workshops, and then the 14th you have the conference. So obviously this was virtual. How did it go this year? How was the attendance? How did everybody receive it? What was the feedback that you got from everyone?
Yeah, so this year we had the workshop day on August 13th, and all the workshops were virtual. And we conducted the workshops through Zoom. And we had some good feedback from our attendees about the workshops. And we tried to stream using Streamlabs for the conference day on August 14th. So it was like having everything on a cloud machine. Like we used, I ended up using 6 cloud machines, and through the cloud, we were just streaming all the talks to the YouTube platform. And we tried to have people do the in-person conversations or the hallway interactions through our Slack channel. And overall, like I was not having time during the day of the conference to follow all the chat messages because I was basically busy behind the scenes handling the remote machines, handling the streaming part, but we had a good set of volunteers and our friends who were actively moderating, and we also had our community friend Sarah, who was speaking over there. She was delivering like 2 talks, and she stepped up for the moment, and she became an awesome community champion for us at the time. And she started coordinating between the Slack channels, and yeah, that's how we tried to manage everything during the day of the conference. And in the end, all went well. That's what I can say.
Oh, really? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean it all went to hell?
All went well.
All went well. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Everything went
2020.
Well. Yeah.
Yeah. 2020.
Because I kind of had the fear that August 13th and 14th, is 13 going to be an unlucky number? No.
Yeah.
We ended up somehow, everything went well, and it was well received. We had some good feedbacks from our attendees, and it was completely a different experience organizing a virtual conference rather than an in-person event.
Yeah, and the workshops look interesting too. I mean, I'll read some of them. Like, there's a real life Jamstack. There's JavaScript without JavaScript. That sounds interesting. Kubernetes stuff, that's always cool to play around with. Build a React app. That's cool. And should I build it? Should I build or should I not? Ooh, I can't talk either today, Frederick. An approach to JavaScript DevOps are the newly called web ops. Ooh, yeah, some cool stuff there. Did you have a favorite yourself that you were really into personally?
So as I told,
not to call favorites. I feel bad.
Yeah. So I can't just figure out just one as favorite.
Yeah.
So I will say that all attendees who attended the workshops or who attended the event conference, they liked almost all the workshops, and they found themselves getting some new insights from the conference talks. So that way I can say, like, I don't want to number out a single favorite, but I think in the end it's all the team effort of all the speakers who gave us their time. And,
sorry about Baskar. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm having a hard time reading this text where you're telling me that you have a favorite, and the favorite is, I can't read this name.
Oh, Frederick.
No.
Just kidding.
36 speakers too. Is that right? Is that the number around that? That's pretty impressive. It's a lot of talk.
A lot of people. Hey, let me throw in this quick question that we have from the audience. Brian, do you want to take it?
Yeah. Todd Libby wants to know: is the group made up of people in the Columbus area, or is it anywhere?
So right now, it's the primary group or primary core team is currently based out of Columbus, but I'm always open for people if they wanted to get in, if they want to volunteer, or if they want to be as our advisors, be as our ambassadors. We are always welcome to have people joining us.
Excellent. Why don't we talk about the topics? I wanted to touch on this because Brian went over the workshops a little bit, and I want to know about the topics because you said it's JavaScript and Friends, which is kind of the meaning. It touches on a lot of other things that JavaScript is involved in. So, what are some of these topics? Like, do you go into any kind of design thinking related thing as well that obviously could relate to JavaScript or whatnot? Do you mind kind of going into some of these things?
Yeah. So in my side, design thinking, I would say like if there was a talk submitted on design thinking, I will definitely include it into the speaker lineup. But since the time we started the CFP, it was like thinking that we will still be doing an in-person event. So we received ample number of talks, but by the time we entered around June and July, we decided that we don't want to take that risk of having an in-person event. So luckily we had various topics submitted by our speakers, and we tried to map them accordingly in such a way that the topics might be found interesting for the attendees. It's not that we don't want to have any design thinking or stuff like that, but yeah, so it all depends on the CFP, and I'm not involved in the CFP process. I always try to keep myself out of the selection committee or selection process because I don't want to put my bias over there. So it's all our content team, which basically handles selecting the topics or coming up with a theme or coming up with the tracks. So I luckily have a good set of friends who helped this year. George Waters, he helped us with he and Barrett Blake. They both are our prime content team, I can say, heads. So last year it was George Waters who primarily had managed the content team. This year we have Barrett Blake who managed the content team. So it's all with the content team who basically come up with the topics and ideas.
Who would you say, if you had to talk to somebody for the first time about JavaScript and Friends, who would you, and you're telling them about the conference, what it's about, who would you say is the audience? Who should attend? Who are you looking to target? Who should really know about this, and who's going to get the most value from it?
Yeah. So as I told, we wanted to raise funds and help people who want to go and attend boot camp through scholarships. So we don't want to just target boot camp or code newbies. We also wanted to have all people involved. So the vision might seem that we only support code newbies, but my target is like we want all the developer community to be involved in this. We are always trying to keep talks from level 101 to level 300. So that way we try to cover all beginner, intermediate, and advanced expertise developers.
Let me. Why don't we jump a little bit out of this, and we'll come back in a minute. But I want to talk about your day-to-day job. You are a ambassador for Auth0. What exactly? Obviously, we'll touch on what Auth0 is in your answer a little bit with some brevity. But what it actually is an ambassador, and what do you actually do day to day in that role?
So Auth0 Ambassador is more of my off the work kind of role. So after after my regular work is completed, I work as a consultant. So during my work hours, I'm just an Azure Solutions Architect or a .NET developer, whichever role I'm working with my client. But once my work is completed, that's where I bring in my speaker side of things. So through Auth0 Ambassador program, we are able to connect with a various group of speakers, and it has been a very good supportive group for us till now, and we were able to like interact with each other, kind of come up with our talk ideas. And the primary thing is whether it's Auth0 Ambassadors or Cloudinary Media Developer Experts, both programs, we basically try to come up with talks which are not primarily Auth0 centric or which are not primarily Cloudinary centric, because nowadays we don't want to be like an agents for these companies. We just want to be helping the developer community by sharing our sharing things which we learn. So it's all about learning and sharing. So I can say that Auth0 Ambassador program, it's primarily like we connect with each other, we try to learn new concepts, and we try to share the same with the developer community. So that's how I can say with the Auth0 Ambassadors program.
Well, let me then talk to you about more of what you actually do on a day-to-day. Tell me about what's your full-time day job and what that's like and what you're doing.
Yeah, so from a full-time day job, I primarily work as a .NET consultant, and I'm a consultant at Select Sires, which is based out of Plain City, Ohio, over here. And after my regular day job, that's where I come up with my speaker side of things. So as part of my day job, I'm primarily doing like handling tickets, resolving new defects, or implementing features. You know the life of a developer, right? So it's all between. We are part of an agile team, and we try to be as flexible as we can. And this team has been a wonderful team till now for me. Yeah.
Do you do back end or front end work with .NET? What do you?
Yeah, I primarily try to manage the backend activities with .NET, and I also support some applications which are built over Angular and AngularJS. Like we have a different set of applications. There are some applications which are on Angular, some applications which are using AngularJS. So work-wise, I am kindly like Angular, .NET, and Azure. But when you come off work, I'm like Vue.js.
So which do you like? Which do you like more, or do you like them both in different ways?
Ooh,
so
good question.
I primarily think that for us to be relevant, it is just that we have to know things. So I don't tell that I am an expert in Vue.js, or I don't tell that I am an expert in AngularJS. It is just that at a given point of time, if you're asking me to work in Angular, I will work. If you ask me to work in Vue.js, I will try to deliver. So that's how I try to keep myself, try to learn wherever which is possible. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely get that. One thing that you kind of mentioned offhand too, I believe you touched on it, Cloudinary Media Developer Expert. I'm not too familiar with Cloudinary. What exactly is that for our listeners?
Yeah, so Cloudinary Media Developer Expert program is almost similar to Auth0 Ambassadors program. So they also like go and speak at meetups, try to use, or it's both programs to me. They are one and the same. So we try to interact with our speaker group. We try to support each other. If there are any talks which we want to get reviewed, the groups will try to review the talks. And if there is someone who is looking for speaker, because someone might be an organizer like me, or someone might be a speaker like me. So if they are looking for events, we try to interact and try to schedule some speakers for our events. So that way, both these programs help me in reaching out to speakers, and it's also helpful in having me reach out to diverse set of speakers. So I would say like these programs are really helpful for me where whenever I am in the organizer side of thing, and it is also helpful for me at the speaker side of thing when I'm in travel, or if I need some support with any if I want to purchase any studio gears or something to do my remote activities. I think these programs will support that as well. But till now, I have not gone to that side of area. So I just use this group to be connected with friends, take their advice, and we try to learn and share with each other.
One thing I'm curious about, and Auth0 Ambassador, Cloudinary. I mean, I believe Azure as well. I could be wrong about that. But how do you actually work through to connect with developers, and do the teams work with the ambassadors and experts to like connect you with talks? I'm just curious how that looks, because I'm on this side, you're on that side. Like, what was that experience like?
Right. So. So both these programs, they are currently like, if you want to become an ambassador or if you want to become a Cloudinary Media Developer Expert, then you can always go and apply on the website of Auth0 Ambassadors or Cloudinary Media Developer Experts. So they have their own set of rules or the eligibility criteria on who can be an ambassador or who can be a media developer expert. So once you go through that process, you will be taken in, and so we don't get inputs from the team. Like the team will not direct us that go and do this talk in this particular meetup. It's the other way. We will go to them asking like, I'm planning to do a talk here. Feel free to let me know if you have any feedback. So that's how we try to take help from each speakers.
I gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. Because that way you get that inspiration, and it kind of sometimes that inspiration strikes, I guess, the same way inspiration doesn't strike twice, the way lightning does. Never strikes twice. Wouldn't you agree, Brian, about the way lightning strikes twice?
You know, that was an incredible segue. I asked him for a segue to lightning round, and he gave it to me. So guess what time it is? It's
lightning round time.
Lightning round. That's right. Where we ask you a series of questions rapidly, and back and forth. Frederick and I. It's going to be like super fast paced. I will go first. What's a hobby that you have? Unrelated tech.
So unrelated to tech, my primary hobbies is like I'm an avid book reader. So whenever I try to find some books, I try to read books which are not related to technology, which are outside of technology. So I could say that if I'm not doing anything tech related, you can find me holding a book and reading a book in my office.
What would you say is one of your favorite things, honestly, one of your favorite things about yourself?
So one of the favorite things about myself, I could say like that is I have an interest to learn, and I have this mindset that we are not complete expert. So I always try to learn, and I always try to understand anything which is new. So if you ask me tomorrow to go and work on something which is entirely new to me, I will try to go in there, try to learn it, and do that work. So that way I can say like learning is one of my favorite things.
Love that.
What chore do you absolutely hate doing?
I absolutely hate doing. Right. So I might be hating to do things which try to So if you are asking me to, if you try to pressurize me, so that's the thing I will hate more. So because I try to believe that if you give an open environment to everyone, be flexible with everyone, so that's how we will get a more productivity or more output, even the thing which you can't expect, or even the thing which you did not even imagine. So if you are if you try to pressurize things on people, it will not work, and that's one of the things which I would hate.
Frederick.
Hey, thanks, Kelly. Just putting you up there. Love you too, brother. Hey, Baskar, if you couldn't use a computer for the rest of your life, what would you be doing professionally?
So as I told, if I'm not going to use my computer for rest of my life, I might take a book, learn something new, and maybe going and teach a class in my nearest library or somewhere. So that's the thing which I'll be spending my time if there is no computer involved.
So you're in the circus. Would you rather be the person with their head inside the lion's mouth or shot out of the cannon?
So I try to take risks sometime. So I better try to go inside lion's mouth and come out.
Oh, finally, someone! Yes,
You're the first one that actually said that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Usually everybody's the other way around, like hardcore. They're like, nope, not doing that.
right.
Nice.
Because we don't know, like there are some risks if we can take. We don't know that it might work in a good way sometimes.
See
The
what
only
no
thing
one
is-
That's
Yeah.
totally fair. I
Yeah,
agree
what no
with you.
one
I'm on the same side.
what no one knows is that there's like a little something inside the lion's mouth that you need to pull out, and you'll help the lion. Go ahead, Frederick.
Right.
Baskar, you come home. It's late at night. It is pouring. It's like 1 a.m. You're like, I just want to get in the house. You get in the house. You open the door. You see a ghost. What do you do?
Like everyone.
What do you do?
I try to freak out. Yeah.
So, would you rather be able to copy and paste in real life or undo in real life?
So I think I would be fine doing Control-C, Control-V rather
Okay.
than
Okay.
undoing. Yeah.
Okay.
What podcast are you listening to currently that you're getting a lot of educational value from? Not I'm not interested in the ones that you listen to for fun, but what are you listening to that you're getting a lot of educational value? Maybe I could frame it in our industry, if you will.
Right. So I follow Real Talk JS podcast, and I also follow non-tech related podcast as well. So if you want to have some leadership related podcast, someone introduced me to John Maxwell podcast. So I try to basically use the free version of the podcast and try to get insights from them.
Nice. Quick question, another additional follow-up question. Would you say that since Brian fell out of a tree, it explains a lot of things as we have here on this chart?
Wow, I did not notice this chart till now.
What else is there? All brown. Yeah, they're all true. Yep.
All the
Wait,
brown
like,
fan.
what's the book one? I can't read that.
It says obsessed
Oh my
with romance novel.
Frederick, we never let that go. Oh, I swear, if I passed away and Frederick had control of what would be on my tombstone, that would be on it.
That would not be on it. Brian loves romance. Old inside joke. Anyway, I think it's your turn, Brian, right?
Yeah. What fact amazes you every time you think about it?
So I get amazed by the friendly developer community, which is trying to help and support each other. So over this period, because for my past 8 years, right now I have like around 12 plus years of experience working in tech. But previous 8 years, I was never a person in developer community. I didn't have a Twitter account. I didn't have anything, right? So it's when I became a consultant, I started like I met some people over here, and they introduced me to the speaking circuit, and that's how I started an interest with technical speaking. So I'm kind of amazed with the kind of support which each other we get from developer community friends, because it's not that they are only supporting you when you are doing good. They also try to support you even when you are not doing good. So someday someone will ping you and ask like, okay, I didn't see you on Twitter, or I didn't see you somewhere. What are you doing? Are you fine? Are you doing well? So that's the thing I get amazed right now with the current situation.
Baskar, what do you do to relax, to let things go? What is your, if you have a place you go to, a thing you watch, and favorite ice cream, I don't know what is it, but what is the thing you do to help you unwind and completely relax?
Yes, so to unwind, it's like every Saturday or every Sunday, I am away from my computer, or I am away from my I'm away from my phone for vast majority of time. So during that time, I try to either watch. I try to watch many movies. I sometimes watch series, binge watching all these Netflix series or Amazon Prime videos. So I try to keep myself not related to tech. So one day or Saturday is like completely out of tech. You might see me retweeting some things in the middle, but majorly I try to keep myself away from my laptop on Saturday.
Nice. Hey, Shiva.
Hey.
Hey, Shiva.
So if Mars was livable, with this question, imagine that everyone that you care about can come with you. Would you accept a one-way ticket to Mars?
It depends on how many people can come with me, right? So if you say just it's going to be 2 people, no, because I might be having a vast set of network of friends. I might believe, I also want you guys to come with me. So it depends on the number of tickets you give me.
I'm going.
It's everyone that you want to come with.
Yeah,
I know Elon. He's my buddy.
Yeah, you take me free. I'm going to come with you.
So you mentioned Netflix. What are you actually watching? What's give me like 3 shows that you're into.
So I don't watch anything like which is currently running. So I try to take things which are old ones. So I'm kind of interested into like the series which are detective kind of things, or any series which are investigative type of things. So, for example, I watched something like Madam Secretary. Like I binge watched all the episodes, right? So right now it's all the politics season. So I thought, okay, let me watch this. What is happening there?
What is an irrational fear that you have?
Ooh, good one.
An irrational fear. So right now the only fear we have is like, since we are staying over here and we have all our friends and family back in India. So while we are here, I just always try to think that everyone over there is safe, they are good and healthy. So that's one constant fear which keeps somewhere it comes and thinks and goes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Let me ask you, what is a technology? If we have, obviously a lot of people that are first, second, third career devs that there's people that are new to the industry every single day that they go, they're like, okay, what's this about? And there's people that come from something else. I was an electrician, I was a this, I was a that, and they're jumping into this. What would you say are maybe 2 or 3 technologies that they should invest their time in that are maybe the most helpful getting their career off the ground?
Yeah. So right now, if I say correctly, currently we are in a situation where we have vast or more online resources which are available. If you go like 6 years or 10 years back, you didn't have these set of online resources. So I would not say that you have to pick only this technology or that technology, but I would say like even though I run JavaScript and Friends, I might be biased. I would tell like, okay, go and pick a JavaScript, go and first learn JavaScript and then try to learn frameworks. So I would not want to give that suggestion. Maybe I will try to give a suggestion to everyone that if you are starting new, try to always go into the support side of things, because support is a kind of area where you try to understand an entire industry or an entire business logic. So if you are getting a support role as your first one, always go ahead and take that role. So support is kind of like, it evolved today as SRE. Someone will tell like site reliability engineer in big companies, but if you go into normal companies, they'll be still having them as support roles or support person. So if you are getting something, if you're going into a support role, then obviously go ahead and take it and spend some time while you are in support. You will try to learn the entire full stack. So when you are in support, you might be dealing with a database, you might be dealing with your front-end applications, you might be dealing with your middleware. So that is the role which will try to give you a full landscape of what is available in tech side. So if you are starting in support role, don't hesitate to start there. So because there are many support based roles which are available, and currently I think we are not looking them as a potential starting point. So feel free to go ahead and take those support roles, and from there try to see what stack the company is using. Like, let's say you have to have your basic knowledge. So if you are having SQL, learn either NoSQL database or a primary relational database. And once you have that, you can always go ahead and learn one programming language. If you want to learn C#, or if you want to learn Java, or if you want to go with Go programming, I would say like take one programming language and then take one framework of front end. I don't want you to be a master in everything at the start. You can take one which you are able to learn easily. So start with something which is, I tweeted some days back that there is nothing easy, right? Everybody has their own set of understanding. So if you feel that you are able to understand a particular technology, whether it can be Angular, whether it can be React or Vue.js, if you are able to understand a particular framework, start with that. And don't go with the hype, and see what going with the hype will never make us learn things. So take one, learn that, and go ahead with that.
What I want to know, this is an important question, is why did the functions stop calling each other? Because they had constant arguments.
Right.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking, why? Okay, are you going to ask a technical question now?
I think with that being said, Baskar, we're getting to the end here, and we got two final questions. Unless, Brian, did you have something else after that?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, we have two final questions. So the first question being, how can people find out more about you? Where do you want them to go? Twitter handle and all that.
Yeah, I'm like openly available on Twitter and LinkedIn. If you're always welcome to reach out to me over there. That's the primary spot. And I might some days tweet tech-related stuff. I might some days tweet non-tech related stuff. So if you're coming on Twitter, you are going to get me as a whole package, and you can obviously reach out to me. Yeah,
love it. And the last question that we like to ask is: do you have any final parting words that would behoove our audience?
So final parting words, I would like to say, like, everyone try to help each other, and that is what is needed during this time. If you are in a particular position or situation where you can use that to help others, try to go ahead and help others.
Well said.
Yeah, thank you.
Brian?
Just thank you for taking the time to talk to us. I mean, time is, as I say, the most valuable thing that we have. And, you sharing it with us tonight is much appreciated.
Right. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Definitely echo that. Yeah, thank you so much, Baskar. It's been a pleasure, and again, it was great talking to you on our previous episode that we had with everybody about the conferences. Yeah. But this was great that we actually got a full episode with you and got to know you a little bit better and talk about things. I'm really happy about it. So yeah, as Brian said too, for your time, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it.
Yep, thank you for having me and listening to what I'm telling right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess that's it. So, wait a minute. Hold on. We got 2 comments here. Let's see if it's anything. We got from Todd Libby.
Thanks, Todd.
Great show, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Todd. Appreciate it. And we have some happy faces from Patrick. Thank you, Patrick. Thanks, everybody.
Patrick.
Really appreciate everybody watching. Thank you so much. Take care, and we'll see you next time.
Yep.
Take care,
Thank
all.
You all. See you next time.